You know, it's very, very interesting. As we were saying in the pledge, of course, we saw the FBI with their guns out, and I assume that was you with your hands up in the air. Okay. And as I've been reading through James's book, it's been very, very interesting to me because one of the things that's underlying it is exactly what's missing in Washington today, and that is truth. We are so frustrated with the high degree of corruption that's going on down there. And constantly being diverted from talking about Benghazi or SEAL Team 6 or the IRS scandal or the NSA or whatever it is. It seems like there's nothing but corruption going on. And the worst part of it is that we're either being lied to, or the cover-up is so great that the person who is, or the people who are responsible, seem to be getting a free pass, and no one seems to be really going in and investigating what in the world is going on down there. So what we need is we need trust, and we need to be able to be with know that whenever anybody is down there, that things are going to be investigated, that they are going to be held accountable. And how are we going to do that unless we send people to Washington who are strong, solid, conservative people who believe in truth?
There's a couple of them right there.
It's kind of fun, huh? It's ironic how the pictures keep coming up at the front. One of the things that I came across just recently is I was thinking, my daughter went to Hillsdale College, and I'm a really big fan of Hillsdale College. The reason is that we had a son that went to Norwich University, and we asked to see his records, you know, how is he doing in his grades. You're not allowed to see that because of the Privacy Act. So we had a son that went to the United States Naval Academy, and I asked if we would be able to see his records. Oh no, ma'am. You know, the Privacy Act, he would have to sign off on those before you could see it. Our daughter went to UNH, the same story. But when we got to Hillsdale, they said, oh, you pay the bill. You're the parent. You get to go to parent-teacher conferences, right? And you get to know what your child's grades are. If her professor in constitutional studies was failing her, I could call up and find out why. I could find out whether or not she was coming to class. I could find out whether she was going to the dean's office to get counseling and so forth. All of those things were available. Why? Because guess what? Hillsdale College accepts no federal funds. Therefore, they don't have to abide by those federal strings called rules and regulations. And it was interesting because when you talk to Dr. Arnn, who's the president of Hillsdale, he'll tell you that they are governed by gold. And a very few rules. Things like always tell the truth, don't cheat, don't be foul. I thought that was a really interesting one. And there's a couple of others, but there are like 5 of them that they operate under, and that's it. So he asked his lawyer to please send him the rules and regulations that govern the other schools. And he says, oh, there's about 500 pages of them. And he says, well, you know, send them over. And he says, won't do it. You won't be able to understand them. And he says, I know I'm not a lawyer, but I am an intelligent person, and I should be able to read this. And he said, no, I can't even understand them. I'm a lawyer, and they are unintelligible. So this reminds me of our government, because they are passing what? Obamacare, and over 2,000 pages. We've got all of the, you know, the immigration, which is really an amnesty bill, is over 2,000 pages. Nobody's reading them. They're not constitutional. They're not simple. Our Constitution was under 20 pages long. The Declaration of Independence is 5,000 words long. They were meant for the average, everyday, common person to be able to read them and understand them. Well, the same thing is true about our legislators. When they go down there, there's no reason why, when you're going to adjust something in the Constitution or in the rules called laws that we have, that they have to be overly complicated. So they should be simple and straightforward. If they're not, and you know what, that's a good reason. If they're over however many pages, they shouldn't be considered. If it's not simple and straightforward, we shouldn't even consider them. If they're not constitutional, that should be our next test. If it's not constitutional, we shouldn't consider it. If it makes it through that far, then we need to decide, is the private sector doing this already, or is it something that government should really be involved in? If it's not, if it makes that test, then we have to figure out, is it affordable? Can we, through our normal operating budget, actually afford to do whatever it is we want to consider? And if it's not, then we shouldn't even be considering it. We could simplify a whole lot in Washington, D.C. if we would do that. And if we would get back to that limited government, instead of letting the rules and regulations govern us, that bureaucratic type style, go back to the constitutional style that was governed by the people, rather, then that's what we should be aiming towards. That's an honorable goal. Well, every 2 years we turn over a third of our senators in the U.S. Congress. Just think about this. Now, this is a real vision for me, and it's probably pie in the sky if you really think about it. But if we put and turned over enough of those senators who are currently sitting in the U.S. Senate with people like Mike Lee, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, if we multiplied those enough so that you had, it takes a leadership team, if you had a strong leadership team that could swing it, and we were able to take back the Senate, and get Harry Reid out of there as the Senate President.
Amen.
Yeah. What would happen? Guess what? They're the jury. Just think about that. They are the jury. I'll leave that with you. I thank you for the opportunity. I am in the process of putting together a team to explore running for the U.S. Senate. And I would really appreciate hearing from you if you think this is a good idea. So thank you very much. Thanks, Verity.